My name is Twamsen. I come from Nigeria, Plateau State. I used to live in Jos. Now I live in Manchester, in England. And I'm a filmmaker. I also work as a photographer. The difference is not very much because I still worked as a filmmaker back in Nigeria. If there's anything I would say I did more in Nigeria I was more involved in community. I organized a festival called Status Arts and Culture Festival. Other than that, it's pretty much the same thing I used to do in Nigeria that I do in the UK now. My life as a filmmaker in Nigeria was not flourishing, but it was okay. It wasn't the best place I wanted it to be, but it was getting to where I hope it would be, because before coming, I had won a grant by the British Council which enabled me to make a film that was screened globally. The film is titled Blood and Rope. So yeah, I think I was beginning to emerge within the scope of the industry where people could actually see what I do, and maybe hopefully I begin to get the commissions that can enable me get to have a sustainable career in film. But that was where I was in Nigeria. I've always been passionate about telling social impact stories. Anything that has to do with picking any societal issue and expressing it through my stories. That's basically what I'm drawn to. No. I'd always thought about traveling abroad for studies, but not complete relocation. I got married and my wife works and lives in the UK, so in order to keep the family together, it was the best decision for me to join her. It wasn't an easy decision, to be honest. As I said, I was at that place where I felt like I was beginning to get the kind of recognition I needed as a filmmaker. And so, upping and coming to the UK, I was going to be starting all over again. But I had to make up my mind on seeing that there are opportunities that may exist in starting afresh. So I then took the decision to move. Before relocating, I'd already traveled to the UK, so it wasn't a first time experience for me. I guess I would say I had already understood a bit of how the culture and living around and moving around was. So it wasn't that difficult. But the extended stay, one thing I would say is that the weather, as much as I come from Jos, which weather is quite different from most of Nigeria, it's still cold. And so I dealt with a lot of the cold, and that's one of the things I think I struggled with when it comes to the environment. The people are quite friendly. Everyone, most of the time, they smile at you on the streets when you're passing. So. Yeah, that reality that hits is especially when you are in need of support, like from family or friends, and you realize that you don't have all of those supports you have. The biggest one is when I tried to make a short film, and I realized that, wow, all the crew I had in Nigeria and all of the connection I had within the network to make my film, that made it easier for me. It was very difficult. It's been very difficult doing that. So that's like a real reality check. Like, wow, I am in the UK. Getting to bring together a crew and cast of people to be able to make a film, it's been difficult. I had written a script. A good thing is I started by forming a collaboration with someone who has now become a very good friend of mine. We worked on a script, and our plan was to shoot in October of 2025. Well, we are in 2026. As of April, that was the final date we had set to shoot. Something happened and we've moved it now until May. So you see how difficult it's been. I know in Nigeria, if I had all of the level of preparation I've had, I should have already done this film once and dusted it. For me, I'm not doing a survivor job. I work as a photographer, freelance and volunteer. So I still work within the creative space. I am not looking for a survivor job. I would want to get more commissions, but at the moment, I think the way I'm going is a good trajectory. One of the things that I've observed is how a lot of people want to talk to you. Or sometimes some people will just, you may say hi to people and they may not even respond. It's not so different from how it is at home, to be honest. I've always perceived these people through the screen of the TV and cinema. So I think a lot of the things that would have been shock to me, I've already gotten insulated through my experience of cinema. The ability to maintain their architecture and their cultural heritage sites for years. Everywhere you go, there's an identity that still remains. Yes, modernization creeps in, but it doesn't envelope the cultural look and traditional feel of what their place is. Unlike at home, where if you see a place now, if you go back 20 years ago, 20 years in time, everything is completely changed. But that's not how they do things. They actually preserve a lot of these sites, and history is very important to them. So people hardly don't know about their history. I think the information they have so much about their history is too much that the most common person knows. Healthcare in Nigeria, surprisingly, for me, is better. When I say this, is because access. If you have your money, you can easily pay for your healthcare in Nigeria. In the UK, it's free, but you don't have, because it's free, a lot of people are dependent upon it. And so it doesn't come on, it's on first come, first serve basis. So you have to wait in line. Sometimes it takes you months to be able to get something that is as easy as a simple operation you can do in Nigeria. So I think that's the biggest difference. In Nigeria, you may speak about some maybe maintenance culture and negligence that may cause people to lose their lives. But in cases where you have the money to pay, you can get those things done easily. The UK, it's very expensive if you have to go that route. So, and then you join the NHS for most of the thing and you stay in line. The difference here is that you apply for everything. There's no, I know this person and so you apply. You see opportunities, you have to apply. Apart from the volunteer stuff you do, even the volunteer, you apply to volunteer. So you don't get everything that, hey, somebody just, you get very few people call you and say, okay, look, I have this for you to do. But most of the jobs, you have to apply for them. You have to apply for everything. The biggest difference between Nigeria and the UK is actually the maintenance of the structure and systems that exist. And a lot of the policies are actually made to be able to serve people. Not when things change, when society changes, they try to update their policies to suit. The problem with Nigeria is the fact that even if sometimes you say these policies have changed, you don't see it happening. It may exist that the changes have been made, but you don't see the impact of those changes. I think that's the problem. The problem is enforcing some of these policies and making sure that they are working for people. That's just the difference, but it's pretty the same because we speak the same language mostly. So, and it kind of adopts their lifestyle in a way. So a lot of the things are supposed to be easy for us, but it's difficult because our lack of maintenance of the structure within our Nigerian system. I've not raised a family in Nigeria, so I cannot say anything about that. The only experience I have is the one of raising a family in the UK, and I'm just beginning. So Maybe if you come back to me in the future, I can give you an answer. First and foremost, I miss the weather. Also, the ability to be able to just be familiar with places, just move around without, I know where I'm going to. I just miss home. That, to be honest, it's just the familiarity of home I miss. Street food. To be honest, street food that is familiar, that is like one of the things I miss so much. Suya on the streets. Or the other day I woke up and I want to eat akara today. And I just think about the fact that I can't find it. And pap, those local dishes, that's the one thing I miss. That is uniquely Nigerian. The only thing we sit on in the UK is jollof rice. I think I've completely moved. Immediately I made up my mind that I was coming here. I knew that, yes, I would have relationships back at home, but relationships will only survive through virtual means. So, and just keeping the communication alive. That's it. I haven't stayed here too long to actually have those feelings. For me, I think I've always been the person who moves around. Based on the fact that I work in film, I've always been nomadic in my ways. So moving to another place does not really affect me. I also did boarding school, so living away from parents and family has been something that from young I had gotten. So I don't feel that I miss so much. I need to go back home now. I think what that's done for me is reaffirmed my understanding of how intentional I need to be about positioning myself as a filmmaker. Here, you know that you cannot be vibing around on things. When I say that is, back home, maybe I can feel that, okay, I still have time to be able to move around and experiment on things. But here, I'm looking at the fact that, and I think what makes that easy is the fact that I own most of I own most of the resources, like when it comes to house, no rent to pay, all of those things. So I think it makes you more relaxed. But here, thinking about the fact that you're actually working to earn, to pay bills, that alone has been something that has made me to actually appreciate that I can say no to opportunities that don't serve me. If I find my footing in the UK to an extent that I'm more stable, I intend to travel across both Nigeria and the UK. One thing you need to know is that you're not coming to a barren land. When you come here, there are people who are here. And so those people already have experience of searching for those opportunities and enjoying the fruits of those opportunities. So when you come here, it's not going to be free sailing. You have to work, you have to learn and acclimatize yourself into the system and find your way. It's not free sailing. If government can just handle security, make sure people are safe, every other thing will fall in line. You provide grants, you provide facility, everything, and then people are not safe to use them. It's still not done anything. So government is just handling the primary factor of ensuring that there's security. Well done, you are doing well. The decision you made is making sense, and the mindset you had coming, it was a good one. You adapted. You did not come thinking that you were going to come and conquer the UK. Nah. You came to be able to find yourself, learn, and find your place. Yeah.